Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Julia Magana. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe on your way out. Today we are going to be talking all about retention. It's probably like the #1 question I get asked all the time, and people struggle a lot with it. What is my secret to good retention? So I have a couple helpful tips that I also wrote on my iPad. So if you see me looking down, I'm going ahead and referring back to my notes. But yeah, so if you are a person who's struggling with retention still, if you're a beginner, even if you're an advanced artist and you just want to know what I'm using to get better retention, or you want to help your retention, then just keep on watching. Alrighty, so obviously, like I said, today's topic is going to be all about retention. I feel like, again, it is the #1 question that I get asked all the time. Like, Julia, how do I get better retention? Julia, how is your retention so good? How is it so fire? Like, please tell us what you're using. What are you using? Like, so I just wanted to go ahead and, share my helpful tips with you guys. Also, I don't know what's going on, but I can't get my viewfinder to work. So I don't know if we're in focus. I really, really hope that we are. Cross our fingers, but we're just gonna go with it. All right, so first things first, before you even think about buying a glue, you need to understand temperature and humidity. This is probably the most important aspect when it comes to retention, is understanding temperature and humidity. And if you don't know what that is, basically our glue, the main ingredient found in our glue, is called cyanoacrylate. Okay, I'll put it right here for you guys. It is the main ingredient found inside our glue. Okay, so what our glue loves is moisture, not too much of it, but not too less of it. Okay, so for me, my ideal temperature is about 73 to 74 degrees in my room, and my love of humidity level is about a 45 to 50% humidity. It's kind of like the range that I like to go for. For me, that's just what works best. I feel like I can kind of feel in the air how the moisture level is. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying, but anyways, so in order to be able to adjust your humidity, you have to have a humidifier. So this is the one that I have here. I purchased this one off of Amazon. I love it so much. I love how aesthetically pleasing it looks. I love how it just goes with the room. I love that it has the light. I love that it's white. I love that it's big, so it holds so much water. So yeah, so this is a humidifier, okay? So if you're a person who lives in like a drier area, you're going to need a humidifier. If you live in a more of a moisture area like Texas or something, you're going to need a dehumidifier, okay? So my humidifier is always set to about 45 to 50%. And the cool thing about my humidifier is that it will shut off when the humidity level is at the perfect temperature or the perfect percentage that it needs to be. It is really that important to have a humidifier. It is crucial in your lashing career. Before you even consider taking a course, please make sure that you have money aside to go ahead and buy a humidifier, or at least buy one prior to your class, because in order for your glue to work at its most proper peak, I guess you could say, you need to have your humidity level what is according to that glue. Another thing is temperature. Like I said, for me, it's about a 73 to 74 degrees. My glues that I use relatively like it to be more on the colder side. Not only that, I enjoy my room to be a little bit more colder. So that's what I found that works for me. Normally, if it is too cold in the room, I notice my glue won't work properly. And if the temperature is a little warmer in my room, my glue also won't work properly. So to me, like 72 to 74 degrees is like perfect. That's like perfect room temperature for me, okay? Understand that you need a humidifier and need to make sure that your temperature is perfect, okay? #2 on the list is obviously the most important thing, is obviously glue. So this is my new favorite glue. This is the Veyes Lash Adhesive Extended Retention. I get this asked all the time, like, what glue are you using from Veyes? We know you love Veyes, but what glue is it? It's the Extended Retention Glue, okay? This has been my absolute new baby. Love it, can't live without it. The retention is really good. The consistency is really good. Now, normally for me, I like more of a thinner viscosity, so that's what I prefer, okay? Everybody is going to be different. Some people like a thicker glue, some people like a thinner glue. I like kind of like an in-between, like a really nice viscosity of glue. So this is what I really found for this one. And I also noticed that with this glue, it's a lot more pigmented, meaning that it's really black, like it's truly dark black. Like that's one thing I like majorly stood out to me after using different glues compared to this one. This has been like my holy grail glue. This is about my 4th bottle already since starting to work with Veyes, and I literally am obsessed. I show you guys all the time that I'm using that glue. Every time I do like my mini tutorials and my vlogs, that is the glue that I'm using. I link it down below all the time. It's relatively affordable. And what I like too is, for me personally, and that's gonna kind of ease our way into like our next topic, which is like which is understanding when to kind of replace your glues and when to know when it's starting to deteriorate, I guess is the word I'm trying to look for. Okay, so for me personally, I have about 4 clients per day. Okay, so that's a lot of people coming in. That's a lot of glue, because you do want to make sure that you're replacing your glue every 15 minutes, depending on you're putting on a glue ring, are you putting it in a flower cup, are you putting it on tape, like are you putting on a jade stone. It needs to be replaced every 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, I do notice too when I have students that I'll be watching them lash, and I'll notice that they're not replacing their glue right away. They'll kind of wait 30 minutes. The crazy thing about it is that that first 15 to 20 minutes, those lashes that you use, those are gonna last longer, and the ones that are like going when the bubble's already starting to like disperse is really going to be when those lashes are not going to go ahead and stay on properly. So I waste glue relatively fast, and I usually would buy like a big bottle of glue, but I noticed that by that 3rd week, if not 2.5 weeks, I was already ready to replace it. So that also leads me to my next thing, is that you need to replace your glue as often as how many clients that you have. So like I said, I get about 4 clients. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of glue. I replace my glue personally every 2.5 to 3 weeks. That's just what works for me. I love a fresh glue every single time. And I noticed that when my glue's already kind of like really at the bottom, I don't like it. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just this placebo effect, like it's still technically kind of a good glue, but I just won't do it. So that for me personally is what I do. My older glue that I used to use had a subscription, so I never really had to worry about going in and buying a replacement glue all the time. It just got sent to me and got taken out of my card, which was great. Unfortunately, Veyes doesn't offer that just yet, but hopefully they do soon. But yeah, so I do have to like manually go in and like buy this glue. So yeah, but I love it so much. I love that it's small, because I replace my glues very often, so there's no need for like a big thing of glue. It's tiny, it's very travel friendly. I mean, I'm sure all glues are, but yeah, I really like this glue. I love it so much. The retention is fire. I mean, I'm always posting my retention, always posting my clients, always posting my fills online, so you guys are always seeing that I have pretty good retention. I'm not afraid to show it, you know. So this is the glue. This is the holy grail. Go and try it. Like I said, it's affordable. What do you have to lose? This leads me into topic number 3, and that is, what is the speed that you like? Okay, the number one thing with retention is not understanding the speed of your glue. Some girls, I noticed, just want a super fast glue right away. And that's great because it's going to stick on right away, but the bond is not going to be great even though you go in and you brush those lashes and you're like, okay, the lash isn't going anywhere. You need to have a glue speed that represents how long you've been lashing, okay? In the beginning of my career, I used Sky Glue. Sky Glue was like hands down my favorite fucking glue. If you guys know, if you guys go back to some old videos, I was raving about Sky Glue for the longest time, and it is fast, but it is not as fast. You know, in the beginning of my career, when I was like a beginner or like an intermediate artist, I guess you could say, my speed wasn't that fast. I was doing like 3.5 hours for a full set. So I wasn't really that fast. So I needed a glue to represent the speed that I was. So Sky Glue was perfect for me. I want to say it's like a 0.5 to 2 second dry time, and Veyes is a 0.5 to 1 second dry time. So as I got faster, I had to adjust my glues and which one I was purchasing to make sure that that speed of that glue was matching the speed of me. Okay, so you cannot buy a fast glue just because you want it to stick right away. Sometimes you're gonna have to use a glue that's slow drying so that you can get that flush and perfect application from the natural lash to the extension, okay? Very important. Don't forget to skip this step. A lot of these steps that I'm gonna say are really like minute things, but they literally make the biggest difference when it comes to retention, okay? All right, so my tip number 3 is that you're going to need a glue shaker, and not just any glue shaker, a Vortex. Right here, okay? You're going to need this bad boy right here. This is the ultimate glue shaker ever. I have tried those like nail polish glue shakers. No, I literally felt, I believe I got this glue shaker probably at my, let's see, I'm about to be 4 years. So I want to say like at my 2-year and like six month mark, I finally invested in a Vortex. A Vortex is a lab, what is called a lab vial shaker, okay? It shakes up the product really, really well. So a glue shaker. So normally when you take a class, they tell you that you need to go ahead and shake your glue very vigorously. So if you were to take your glue, you have to, with your glue, right? You have to do this for 60 seconds, okay? Now, when you put it on a glue shaker, all you're gonna do is just place it on there for 10 seconds. So instead of using like those nail polish shakers, the Vortex shakes up your glue so perfectly fine that it mixes the ingredients so well that I don't know, I can't even explain it. I don't really know how or what, if this makes sense, but like literally this glue shaker, the Vortex has saved my life and has completely elevated my retention. Like I noticed as soon as I bought that thing and I started using it, like I was like, my retention is too good. Like it's too good. Like I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm using the same products, like what's going on here. And no matter what glue I've ever tried, putting it on the Vortex, superb, okay? You need a Vortex. It is important to shake your glue properly. It's important that you're getting a proper glue shaker. There's a lot of mock-off glue shakers out there that I have actually tried from students, or students have told me, no, you need the Vortex, okay? It's definitely worth the investment. It's definitely gonna help your retention. It shakes it up so perfectly. All you need to do is leave it there for like 10 seconds and then that is it. And it will shake your glue perfectly every single time. Okay, so my tip number 4 is it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it's a very big deal. And it is to make sure that the distance from your palette and to your client's eyes are equivalent on each side. So what that means is, let's just say your person's right here and here's your lash tile. And you are going in, you're isolating and you're dipping in your extension and you're going in on your client's right eye to put that extension down. Now the distance from here to here from the right eye compared to the distance from here to here on the left eye is obviously going to be greater. So what I've noticed too, like when I wasn't tilting my client's head and adjusting, I was noticing that this side was always like less retention. Like there was always less lashes and I couldn't understand why. I would just always notice that. And then I was just like, okay, like something's going on here. And then one time my client kind of like tilted her head and I was just like, well, she's sleeping, I don't want to wake her up. And I went in and I lashed her at that distance of her head was at, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. And I noticed the retention was perfect on both eyes, okay? So you need to make sure that the distance from here to here is also the same distance from here to here. So that means you're going to need to tilt your client's head so that her left eye is equivalent distance as if you were lashing on her right eye, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Again, you wanna make sure that both of those eyes are as cohesive as possible. You don't want one eye to relatively fall off faster. I mean, it probably will depending on what side she sleeps on. She probably does sleep on her left side, so you're always gonna notice more loss on this side than you will this side. So it's gonna vary, okay? So everybody's gonna be different as well. Sorry, I really don't care if they're asleep or not. I will move their head slightly because I want to make sure that one, it's honestly so much easier to isolate when you are moving your client's head where it needs to be, but also again, the distance is going to be equal, okay? So yeah, little tip there. Use it next time. Let me know if that works for you. All right, so my tip number 5 is going to be using a bonder. I cannot even tell you guys, using a bonder, I believe is relatively more of a newer thing. It wasn't really a thing when I was first lashing. I feel like it was, but it was more like sealants in a way. It wasn't really bonders. I feel like bonders are kind of like a new wave that's been coming out. And I personally found that a bonder really does help my retention. I believe it excelled it at least 20 to 30% more than normal. So I really think it's super important. And the bonder that I'm using is the Veyes Superbonder, the Accelerated Drying Maximize Retention Superbonder. And it is what it looks like. You guys, to be completely honest with you, all they're meant to do is to cure that glue from the outside within, okay? So when you're going in and lashing, you need to think of it as like bricks, as like somebody's building a brick house, okay? You put one brick down, you put the cement, and then you put the brick right on top. And I don't know if you've ever seen somebody actually lay bricks down, but when they go ahead and place that brick on top, they kind of sweep off the excess from the sides, okay? I like to think lashing as like putting on bricks or making a house or laying bricks down, whatever you want to call it, okay? Because when you're going in and you're placing that extension on top, not that the glue is necessarily oozing from the side, because you're wrapping, depending if you're doing volume or not, you're kind of wrapping that extension around the natural lash. But what is happening is that the glue is able to dry from the outside instead of within. So what Bonder does is it's able to go ahead and cure all the surface of the glue from the outside so that that bond can be so much greater so that the glue has time to dry within the inside. I really hope that makes sense, but that's exactly the way I envision it in my head, and I noticed that has been a key factor. Now, I do want to say though, when it comes to bonder, you need to be very careful. You need to make sure that you dry your you need to make sure that you are drying your client's lashes at least 1 to 2 minutes prior to actually setting the client's eye, because what could happen is you'll shock cure the glue. So what shock curing means is that you went in, you lashed, and let's say you were almost done, you did like 20. Okay, boom, you fanned for like a couple of seconds, and then you went in and you nano mist, right? Now, what can happen is that those lashes or that glue was still not properly dry from the outside yet. So what you did was that you like pretty much crystallized that glue, and it got hard and it got stuck. And if you didn't place that lash properly, or you didn't give it enough time to dry, the bond will not be as great as if you waited a little bit, let it dry really good, and then able to seal it properly. Again, I really hope that makes sense, but that's what you're supposed to do, okay? So that's the concept of a bonder. Now, obviously with bonder, people either will put this on a micro swab and put it directly on the lashes once they're done with their complete set. However, for me personally, I don't like doing that. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just a placebo effect, but I found when I've done that, one, the chemical is way too concentrated. So my clients would start to water. Thus meaning to me, it felt like, well, the bonder's not doing anything because, you know, it's not lasting. But in reality, it was just that it was so much fume and chemical, because they are strong. Like when you smell them, like if I were to put this, if I were to go ahead and spray this, like it has a scent, and it's pretty strong scent, okay? So if you're putting this chemical directly on top of somebody's lashes, they're gonna smell it, and their eyes are gonna, like, that chemical is so potent right near their eyes, they just start to water, or it starts to irritate them. And I did not like that. So I randomly saw on a TikTok, and I couldn't even find it, that somebody put their bonder in their nano mister, and I was like, that is genius. That is so genius, because literally a nano mister like refines mist, right? It creates this mist, it creates this fog. So I like to put my bonder inside of my nano mister. And the way I like to do this is I do 1 part bonder to 1 part water. So what that means is I'll literally take my nano mister, I'll put half water and half bonder. That's it. I did make a post like this on my Instagram. I'm pretty sure I probably already inserted it. If not, I'll insert it right now, of basically showing you guys like what it looks like when you're actually like curing that glue with the nano mister, and when you're putting the correct amount. Now I know some people are like, oh, only put like 4 droplets in there. However, I feel like the water really dilutes the product, and I don't really want to dilute it so much. So that's why for me personally, I like to put half bonder and half water. So my tip number 6 is going to be, it is the obvious. I've said this so many times before. I do not prime. I don't prime. I've primed maybe like twice in my life. I have like one super old video where you actually see me priming, I believe. And that was just one time. I don't know. I don't see the point in a primer. I don't. Primers are supposed to meant to, like, you know, correct the pH balance of somebody's lashes. But I don't know. I've never found, like, I've used them and I've given, like, you know what, if brands would send me a primer, I would try it out because you never know if you like something or not. And I never really saw the difference. I would even put one, like, primer on the other eye, primer on no eye, same glue, same bonder. Like, I don't know. I just don't see the need for a primer. I'm sorry, I don't. I know some people do, and if that works for you, that's great. But for me personally, I don't prime. I don't see the necessity of it. My clients know when they come in, their lashes need to be clean. So I don't feel the need to go in there and, like, you know, clean dirt or clean their lashes. Like, my clients know that my time is valuable. I have like 4 clients a day. I have a certain amount of time in between each client. So they do respect everybody's time, which is great. And I love that about my clientele, is they totally respect my time. So, like, they're coming in and they have clean lashes. I have like 1 or 2 that come to me like after work. But honestly, even when they have makeup on, I still have really good retention and I still don't prime. So yeah, my next topic is going to be client aftercare. A lot of times when you start to elevate, though, in your career, not in the beginning. In the beginning, you guys, no matter what you do, even if you follow these steps, you're gonna have poor retention. It is just the struggle that every lash artist goes through. You know, enjoy the process, enjoy the time, enjoy this learning process that you're going through. Eventually it will just happen for you. Okay, when you're understanding flush application, you understand your temperature and humidity, you know what glue you like, you know your speed that you like, you know the viscosity that you like, you got your glue shaker, you know, then you'll be able to elevate your steps. But until then, it's so hard to, like, really avoid retention issues in the beginning. Okay, so but a lot of times what I found, even as me being in this game for so long, is that a lot of clients like to blame us for bad retention. And honestly, majority, like, it's 10% us and like 90% them. Like, let's just be real. We're putting it on for you and we have all the proper steps, and well, hopefully you have all the proper steps to do what you need to do to create beautiful full sets. But when they go out there and let's just say they wash their lashes within 24 hours. They're using baby shampoo. They're using micellar waters. They're using everything else but a lash shampoo and completely ignoring those aftercare steps. Their lashes are not going to last. Are they a face sleeper? Do they like to pick at their lashes? You know what I mean? So a majority of the time, it is 90% aftercare, okay? And if you don't have an aftercare steps that you give to your clients, you really need to write something down, or even go on Amazon. Amazon sells, like, you can buy business cards that have aftercare instructions for clients. You know, you don't even have to make them yourself. You can actually pre-buy them yourself, already made. So I already know, like, every single time I get a new client, I give them the rundown and I tell them, okay, as soon as we're done, I'll give you the whole rundown on how to take care of your lashes. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate that for you. I'm like, alrighty then, go ahead and take a look. Let me know if anything, you know, you need anything adjusted. They're like, nope, they look great. All right. So please do not wash your lashes for the next 24 to 48 hours. You want to avoid any moisture as much as possible. If you do happen to need to take a shower, because for some reason clients feel the need to take a shower right after they get their lashes done, which I understand, because I'm a person that, like, if I sweated or if I feel dirty, like, I have to shower, okay? If you're just one of those people, or you know one of those people, just let them know. If you happen to need to bathe so badly after knowing you're not supposed to, please crack open the door or the curtain or use really low steam water and bathe, okay? But not least, and I feel like, again, a very small thing but can happen to some people because it's happened to me, is you're going to get what I like to call a dud, which means you're going to get a bad glue. So what had happened to me one time was that I got a shipment, like an overnight shipping for glue, and they put it in the parcel locker. And at the time where I got it mailed at, I wasn't living there and I didn't get a notification. I didn't check my emails, and it was in there for like at least 3 days in the heat. So the glue was just sitting there in the hot sun inside that metal freaking tin can, the mailbox, for 4 days. And I went to go lash with it, and it would barely start to stick. It would take like seconds for that glue to start to stick. And I was just like freaking out. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? Did they change the formula? What's happening? Is it me? I like freaked out. I checked like my temperature. I checked my humidity. I like shook up my glue again. Like I ruled out every single thing I can think of and nothing. I literally just was like, it didn't dawn on me till like the next day. And I was like, wait a minute. I had left it in there for a minute and it was hot. Very, very hot. Middle of the summertime. It's extremely hot. So I was like, oh man, it just didn't work. Or you'll have times where honestly brands are not throwing out older glue, so they're going to probably send you a glue that's been sitting there for like a very long time. I believe, like, I don't know what the statistic is, that a glue, like a shelf life of a glue is not long at all. So sometimes brands they're just getting so much quantity of lash glue that it's just sitting there. So they send you a glue and by the time it gets to you, it's probably old. So that's another thing that can happen, and what I've noticed when I get that. And honestly, an older glue has happened to me, I want to say like 3 times in my whole career, almost being 4 years of lashing. That has happened to me for sure. And it can definitely happen to you. So just be mindful of that. Be careful, be aware, always replace your glues. Again, I just know for a fact that I need to replace my glue every 2.5 to 3 weeks. Okay, that's just me. Works better for me. I can keep up with the fresh glue. I love a fresh glue. It just works so much better. The retention is so much better. And yeah, let me know if that's ever happened to you before, because it's definitely happened to me. Alrighty guys, that sums up today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I finally did a sit down. I haven't done one in so long. It feels so weird to finally sit behind the camera again. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned a thing or two. If you found these tips helpful, please let me know what was the most helpful tip for you. And as far as our giveaway goes, I will be announcing my giveaway winner in my next vlog that's coming up. So please stay tuned for that. Again, it was going to be in 1 hour mentorship with me via FaceTime or Zoom call, whatever. And I'm also doing one for my Instagram, and we'll be having an upcoming class probably at the end of September. So yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for all your support, all your video submissions, and all your truly amazing comments. Like, I have built such an amazing community on here with the Lash Girls, and it is just growing, and I cannot wait to keep going and keep growing with you guys and sharing more helpful tips with you. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe on your way out so that I could keep bringing you guys more videos like this. Until next video, I love you guys so much. Bye.